My Oscar-winning girlfriend of 5 years, Sophia Miller, was exposed spending the night with a mysterious man. To protect Ethan Miller's reputation, she hastily posted intimate photos with him on Instagram, openly acknowledging their relationship. The caption read, "Waiting for fallen leaves, waiting for the cold wind, waiting for autumn fireworks, and a better us from beginning to end. I've only loved one person." As I stared at the man's face, bearing an uncanny resemblance to mine, a chilling numbness slowly enveloped my entire body. All these years, I've just been someone else's stand-in. Sophia quickly called to explain Ethan just returned to the country and can't have his reputation affected. "I only did this for work, don't take it seriously." I simply replied calmly, "It's fine, I understand." Seeing I showed no emotion, Sophia on the other end of the line sounded puzzled. Instead, "Why aren't you jealous today?" Less than half an hour after the call ended, Sophia returned. I thought she would continue her earlier explanation, but she didn't. She simply pretended nothing had happened and handed me the prepared gift. "Quick, see if you like it. I picked it out especially for you." It was a Patek Philippe wristwatch, quite expensive. I'd heard. In the past, she would always bring me small gifts when she returned, but never anything this expensive. Perhaps she also realized that this time was different from before. Before, a piece of cake, a hug, or even a simple smile would have been enough to cheer me up. But today, even with this expensive watch placed before me, my expression remained indifferent, devoid of any emotion. I merely uttered a faint thank you. A flicker of disappointment crossed Sophia's face. She could clearly sense that something was off with me. But she didn't dare bring up officially announcing her relationship with Ethan Miller because she felt guilty. She could only deliberately change the subject. "Liam, I'm so hungry. Can you make me your signature chicken noodle soup?" The noodles were ready-made, but the chicken broth had to be freshly prepared. Every time she said she wanted to eat it, I would rush to gather the ingredients and make it for her, never complaining no matter how troublesome it was. But today, I didn't feel like doing anything. "There's sandwiches in the fridge. Help yourself if you're hungry." Liam Jones, seeing my indifferent attitude, Sophia finally lost her temper. "Can you stop sulking already? Do you know how many events I canceled just to come back and comfort you? Can't you be more understanding about my work?" No, I cut her off when I looked up. My eyes remained as calm as midnight lake water. Without a ripple, Sophia Miller were breaking up. Even after all these days of self-repair, the moment I saw the person I once loved deeply, my heart still contracted uncontrollably with pain. The ache clogged my chest, leaving me suffocated with discomfort. Yet I still forced out those words stuck in my throat. This ridiculous secret relationship lasted 5 years, and our feelings had long since reached their end. I no longer wanted to wait in an empty house for her return, no longer wanted to see her endless scandals, and no longer wanted to love her. I was exhausted when Sophia heard the word breakup. Her face turned deathly pale, filled with unprecedented panic and shock. Before she could speak, I opened the door and left. After getting together with Sophia apart from work hours, I spent all my time at home waiting for her and had tea gathered with friends and ages. I reluctantly attended this gathering at a friend's invitation. After several rounds of drinks, they all noticed my absent-mindedness, so I had no choice but to tell them about the breakup. "Breakup? When did you even get into a relationship? We didn't know about. How did you two meet?" Their rapid-fire questions instantly dragged my memories back to middle school days that summer when I first met Sophia. I'd even locked in the restroom by school bullies for being the top student, where I encountered her in equally miserable circumstances. The gears of fate turned at that moment, binding two hearts of identical destiny inextricably together. After graduating from middle school, she moved to another city with her divorced mother, but our connection never broke. It wasn't until 5 years ago when I graduated from university and came to her city to build our lives together that we finally achieved our happy ending, becoming lovers. Yet she knew all along Ethan Miller was that very boy who bullied me back then. The clamor of my friends pulled my drifting thoughts back to reality. I pointed casually at the poster on the wall and forced a bitter smile. "She's the girlfriend I've been dating for 5 years. The poster advertised Sophia and Ethan Miller's new film, a leading role she had secured for Ethan Miller. The two were pressed close together, gazing into each other's eyes with unmistakable tenderness, a perfect match. My friends burst into uproarious laughter, thinking I was joking. "You must be drunk. Sophia is an Oscar-winning actress. How could she possibly be your girlfriend?" The surrounding laughter felt sharp in my ears, with a haze of alcohol clouding my mind. Even the poster on the wall seemed to blur before my eyes. I didn't bother explaining further. Tilting my head back, I drained a glass in one go. The burning liquor seared down my throat, carrying with it both melancholy and resignation. As I lowered my head, the private room's door was pushed open. Even with the baseball cap pulled low, wearing a mask and sunglasses, I recognized Sophia at a glance. Amidst everyone's stunned silence, Sophia gave a slight nod in greeting, then quietly pulled out a chair and sat beside me. To everyone except me, she carried an innate air of aloofness. "What are you doing here?" My voice was polite, yet distant, instantly widening the gap between us. She frowned slightly in displeasure, yet her tone remained gentle. "I finally have some free time, and I want to spend more of it with you." I kept a cold expression. You don't need to do this, we're breaking up. When T agreed to a breakup, she took a deep breath, cutting me off. You're just jealous and want to go public with our relationship. Right, fine, I'll give you what you want. With that, she picked up my glass and stood her tone, regaining its usual arrogance. Hello, everyone, I'm Liam's girlfriend. Due to work reasons, I had to keep my relationship with Liam a secret. Hope you all understand. As her words hung in the air, she raised her glass amidst the shocked gazes of friends, but I snatched it from her hand before it could touch her lips. Enough, Sophia, we've already broken up. The glass slammed heavily onto the table, rolled twice, then came to a silent stop. After saying these words, I turned and walked away without a second glance at her reddening eyes. Stumbling drunkenly into the night, I staggered down the dimly lit street, swallowed whole by darkness and the stench of alcohol. My thoughts tangled chaotically, suddenly recalling that moment when Sophia raised her glass. My chest tightened until breathing became difficult. Sophia never drank. She always said she hated the taste of alcohol. But I once saw in a paparazzi exposed video where she was drunk, half her body, leaning into Ethan Miller's arms, raising her glass to curry favor with the producers at the table. I hope everyone can give Ethan a chance. He definitely prove himself. For Ethan Miller, she who never touched alcohol, downed 3 shots of hard liquor in one go, finally collapsing drunkenly into his arms. That day happened to be my birthday. I sat waiting in front of the cake all night, but she never came home. Later, she called to explain the wrap party for the new series had all the producers and directors there. I really couldn't get away. When I find time, I'll make it up to you with a proper birthday celebration. But Sophia, I don't need it anymore. From the moment I saw her collapse into Ethan Miller's arms, all the feelings of these years shattered. My heart turned to ashes. Sophia quickly chased after me. Liam, don't be angry. It's really just a professional relationship between us, she pleaded before my friends. I simply replied indifferently, I'm not angry. This has nothing to do with me anymore. Don't deny it, Liam Jones, you are breaking up just because you're jealous of Ethan Miller. I've explained this so many times. Those rumors are just part of my job. If it bothers you, I can go clarify everything right now. Please stop threatening to break up with me, okay? She kept rambling on forever, using work obligations as her excuse. She would never admit to having ever been distracted in our relationship. Suddenly, I found her desperate, clinging, and endless lies utterly repulsive. I shook off her hand, hailed a taxi, and left without looking back. Just as I got home, the company HR suddenly sent me a termination notice. Liam, this is the higher-ups' decision. There's nothing I can do. The HR colleague spoke helplessly. I heard someone deliberately trip you up. Did you offend someone? I've always been kind to others and never offended anyone. But since the company fired me over this, I don't really care. I wasn't relying on that meager salary to begin with. As soon as I hung up, an unknown number called immediately. A man's voice came through the receiver. How does it feel to get fired, Liam Jones? I recognized the voice instantly. It was Ethan Miller. The one pulling the strings behind the scenes was actually him. My fists clenched violently, nails digging into flesh as pain mingled with hatred surged through my entire body. You're nothing but trash now and not even worth minimum wage. What gives you the right to cling to Sophia? I suggest you crawl away while you still can. With me around, if you ever land a job again, I'll eat my words, haha. He laughed wildly, completely unlike his usual gentle and refined image on television, more like a man-eating demon from hell. Exactly the same as he was in middle school, but no matter how he appears, he disgusts me all the same. I snorted disdainfully, cutting off his grating laughter. Oh really, then you're bound to lose. In this wager, Ethan Miller is destined to lose miserably. To me, the 9-to-5 job outside was just a mundane pastime to kill time. Whether I win or not made no difference. Back in college, a novel I anonymously wrote was published and subsequently optioned by a renowned director who bought the film rights. That single book marked the beginning of my journey as a screenwriter. Several hit TV series in recent years were all my creations. However, in my request, my real name has always been concealed, replaced only by the pen name Ashlock. Apart from a few major directors, I've consistently worked with. No one knows about this identity of mine. Not even Sophia knew. The next day, I went to the company on time to complete my resignation procedures. When I reached my workstation, I found all my personal belongings were gone. The entire desk was completely empty. Only when I shifted my gaze to the nearby trash bin did I see all my things lying quietly inside. I didn't need to guess who did it. With a cold smirk, I grabbed a vase nearby and headed straight for the director's office. Kicked the door open under the horrified gazes of all his colleagues, then smashed the vase at the director's feet with a loud crack. He roared and slammed the table. As he stood up, Liam Jones, don't you dare go too far. If you want to blame anyone for this, blame your own bad luck. You offended Ethan the big star. He specifically said he doesn't want to see you. We have no choice. The company's new product had chosen Ethan Miller as its spokesperson, and this was the perfect time to curry favor with him. Naturally, they wouldn't risk offending Ethan Miller over a small employee like me. I couldn't be bothered to say more anyway. It's their loss without me in the company. Smashing that vase was enough to vent my anger. Just as I was about to leave, the director's secretary rushed in. Director Sophia, the movie queen, just called. She expressed interest in endorsing our new product, but she has one condition. At this point, the secretary gave me a complicated look. The director's eyes lit up as he urged, no matter what the request is, we must fulfill it at all costs. The opportunity to collaborate with an acting legend of this generation comes once in a lifetime. He naturally jumped at the chance. The only requirement from Academy Award winner Sophia is that her boyfriend Liam Jones must oversee all her work personally. This statement stunned everyone present. Even I was momentarily taken aback. After confirming our relationship with Sophia, she told me we couldn't reveal our relationship in public. We had to avoid suspicion. For 3 whole years, we never appeared together in anyone's sight. My family, my friends, none of them knew of her existence. She never once attended any gatherings with my friends either. Even last year, when my grandmother was critically ill, murmuring on her deathbed that she wanted to see my girlfriend, I called Sophia in tears, begging her to spare just a moment to visit the old lady. Even though she heard the tremor in my voice, she only hesitated for a few seconds before firmly refusing. Liam, you know my current status. It's not convenient for me. After that, I never again made requests like introducing her to my family and friends. I just never expected that today, for the first time, she would intervene in my work matters, acting as my girlfriend. But I don't need it anymore. Sophia's status is something Ethan Miller could never match. Hearing her propose such a collaboration, the director completely changed his previously disgusting attitude and apologized to me with a smile. Liam, why didn't you mention earlier that you had this connection with Oscar-winning actress Sophia? My previous behavior was wrong. Please don't take it to heart here, What I'll do, I'll make an exception and promote you to project manager, giving you full authority over this collaboration. Your year-end bonus will be tripled. But I just expressionlessly threw my employee badge on the desk and refused outright. Sorry, but I'm done with this shit. With that, I turned around, coolly leaving my stunned coworkers gaping at my bold move once again. The office had already erupted into chaos, and as I stepped out, colleagues swarmed around me like bees. Damn, Liam, you've been holding out on us. Who knew superstar Sophia was your girlfriend? Oscar-winning Sophia just updated her social media. Not only did she debunk those rumors with Ethan Miller, but she also announced your relationship. She's even wearing a wedding dress and coming here to propose to you. Before I could react, my colleague had already tapped play on the video and shoved the phone into my hand. In the video, Sophia wore a pristine white wedding dress, her delicate makeup radiating an icy nobility. She stared into the lens, her profound gaze seeming to pierce through the screen and lock onto my eyes. She said, Liam Jones, are you ready to marry me? Turns out half an hour earlier, Sophia had posted a clarification announcement publicly revealing our 5-year-long secret relationship. She also released secretly taken photos of me cooking and a few candid shots with a 9-square grid filled with affection, paired with a lengthy 500-word caption explaining that admitting to a relationship with Ethan Miller the day before was just a joke she thought she had lost in a bet. She said from beginning to end there was only one boyfriend, me. My breath hitched and my heart churned with mixed emotions. Ethan Miller was also quick to reply under the post. Sophia's sportsmanship is admirable. It was all a misunderstanding, brother-in-law. Don't be angry, okay? The comments section exploded, instantly filled with backlash. People accused Sophia of taking the joke too far, treating fans like fools, and some still insisted that only Ethan Miller was truly suited for her. Only a handful of people expressed their blessings. I don't know how Sophia convinced Ethan Miller to accompany her in this charade, but while everyone else was moved to tears, I remained unusually clear-headed. There was a time when I eagerly anticipated this day, the day we could publicly announce our relationship, imagining walking hand in hand with her openly on the streets, receiving everyone's well wishes. But now all I feel is overwhelming confusion and the quiet resignation that follows disappointment. Within just a few minutes, the video of a famous actress proposing to her ordinary boyfriend online instantly went viral across the nation, topping the trending charts and dominating headlines on major media platforms. Numerous bloggers and journalists launched live broadcasts tracking Sophia as she sprinted toward my location with a bouquet in her arms. Her bravery and sincerity drove the crowd into a frenzy, with many fans even rushing to block the entrance of my company in advance, clearing the way for her. In no time, this live-streamed proposal exploded in viewership, captivating hundreds of millions of spectators nationwide. Before I could even process what was happening, a sudden burst of cheers erupted outside the company. Sophia had arrived, clutching flowers. She pushed open the company door breathlessly, and when her gaze found me, through the crowd a smile curled at the corners of her lips. The wedding dress was stunning, accentuating her captivating curves, even with strands of her disheveled bun clinging to her face with sweat. She was still breathtakingly beautiful. The reporters and media personnel swarmed in right behind her, and in an instant, every gaze and camera lens in the room converged on me under the glaring lights. Sophia looked at me and slowly walked towards me, her eyes shining like bright lamps lighting up the night sky. She held out the flowers with both hands and asked softly, "Liam Jones, will you marry me?" Even though Sophia appeared perfectly calm, I still caught the faint tremor in her voice with precision. As soon as these words were spoken, the chaotic scene erupted once more with gasps of astonishment, everyone gazing at me with envy. Oh my God, being publicly proposed to by a top celebrity, this is just too blissful. For an ordinary guy like him to catch the eye of an award-winning actress, he must be the luckiest man alive, truly chosen by fate. Amidst these envious exclamations, my thoughts raced through the 5 years I'd spent in love with Sophia, yet all those once unforgettable feelings had quietly faded away, worn down by disappointment after disappointment. At this moment, I felt utterly clear-headed, perhaps sensing my hesitation. People around us began clapping and chanting, "Say yes, say yes." Yet under everyone's expectant gazes, I calmly shook my head. "Sorry, I don't want to." The air instantly froze, dead silence fell over the room as everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe that an ordinary nobody like me would publicly reject the marriage proposal from a famous actress. Sophia also stared at me in disbelief, her eyes reddening with pain and resentment. For 5 years in love, I watched Sophia rise from an obscure actress to a dazzling Hollywood superstar. At the beginning of our relationship, she said she was still in her career ascent and couldn't spend much time with me. As she climbed higher and higher, the time she spent with me grew less and less. She always called late at night with comforting words. "Liam, just wait a little longer for me. When the time is right, when I win an Oscar, when I'm strong enough, I'll announce her identity to the whole world." So with great anticipation, I waited and watched, enduring 5 full years without seeing her promise fulfilled, only to be met with news of her official relationship with Ethan Miller. My heart had long since died during those hopeless years of waiting. So even if she were to repent, now standing before me with reddened eyes, proposing to me before the whole world, my heart would remain still utterly unmoved. Sophia, some promises once expired are void forever. On the afternoon of the rejected proposal, the news that Sophia Miller, the legendary actress, was rejected when proposing to her civilian boyfriend immediately made headlines across all major media outlets. The news swept like a tsunami across already turbulent waters, instantly stirring up towering waves. Soon my personal information was dug up by fans who angrily attacked me online, outraged on behalf of their idol. "Our goddess likes you so much, lowering herself to propose to you, and you actually rejected her, you blind, worthless dog of a man. How could you bear to hurt her when she was so good to you, never looking down on your mediocrity and incompetence?" There were too many comments like this. I lost interest after just reading a couple. Gradually, these indignant comments defending Sophia dwindled because she personally responded to each of her fans under my social media posts, asking them not to trouble me. I found it somewhat laughable. If only she had thought of this earlier. I returned home and packed up all my belongings, preparing to move out of this house I'd lived in for 5 years. 5 years was too long. There were too many things that belonged to me. I packed silently by myself until late into the night. Sophia sent a text, "Liam, I know today was too sudden. You refused me because you weren't mentally prepared. I want to give up. I'll keep waiting for you." I glanced at it indifferently, didn't reply, then deleted all her contact information. No one was spared from this storm. Sophia lost over 100,000 followers overnight due to her madness, and several endorsement deals and TV series projects were put on hold. Ironically, Ethan Miller became the sole beneficiary, with many passers-by turning into fans expressing sympathy for his forbearance. His brainless fans believed I had interfered in his relationship with Sophia. They were no longer satisfied with leaving abusive comments online. They started blocking my doorstep, sending funeral wreaths, and throwing trash. They blasted insults through loudspeakers on loop. "Shameless homewrecker, it's you who ruined Ethan and Sophia's relationship. You villain goddess, Sophia belongs to Ethan. You're not allowed to steal her from him." Homewreckers always get what they deserve. Ethan Miller's fans are just as detestable as he is. The next evening, as I was packing all my belongings to move out, one of Ethan Miller's deranged female fans stabbed me. Fortunately, I dodged in time. The blade missed my heart and plunged deep into my left arm instead. Blood instantly stained my white t-shirt, and the other fans were terrified, screaming and scattering in panic, too afraid to come closer. In the end, it was a kind neighbor who called the police, and I was taken to the hospital by ambulance. By the time Sophia heard the news and rushed over, my wounds had already been bandaged, and I was resting in the hospital bed. Her eyes red, she bent down to hug me, her gaze filled with distress. "Liam, it's all my fault. I'm the reason you got hurt." I turned my head away. "Not your fault. That was Ethan Miller's fan." A flicker of evasion flashed through her eyes as she avoided my gaze. "It was his fan, but it has nothing to do with him." I sneered inwardly. Even now, she still chose to defend Ethan Miller. If she cared so much about that man, why did she put on that hypocritical act of proposing to me in front of the entire nation that day? The irony was utterly unbearable. I turned my back to her and spoke calmly. "Oh, go ahead with your work. Don't mind me." I took leave. I want to spend more time with you. My tone remained indifferent. I don't need it. The companionship I never received before now. It seems I don't need it that much anymore. Perhaps, sensing my anger, she unusually offered a few more words of explanation. Liam, it's not what you think between him and me. I had my reasons. Reasons, huh? I curled my lips mockingly and closed my eyes, refusing to respond. Whether she had reasons or not, whatever those reasons might be, none of it concerned me anymore. Now, even speaking one more word to her made me sick. She stayed in the hospital room for a long time, quietly keeping me company without daring to speak, as if afraid of annoying me and getting kicked out, so cautious. It wasn't until her agent came in for the third time to urge her that she reluctantly left. After the news about me spread, several directors who knew my real identity called one after another, teasing me, while also extending invitations to the upcoming Golden Statue Awards banquet. 2 of this year's breakout hit dramas were written by me. This year's Best Screenplay Award is rightfully mine. I've actually won the same awards over the years, but I always just took the prize money without attending the ceremony. But this year I decided to stop hiding my identity. I want to stand on the highest stage and enjoy all the achievements I've earned through hard work. From now on, I refuse to remain that shadowy man lurking behind the Best Actress. I will be my own person. After leaving the hospital, Sophia never came back, nor did she try calling me from various unfamiliar numbers anymore. After 3 days of quiet recuperation, my injuries had mostly healed. On the day of the award ceremony, I arrived at the venue. As promised, the annual event was grandly decorated with tens of millions of fans gathered outside. Even though Sophia had already held a press conference announcing our relationship, there were still many delusional Sophia-Ethan Miller shippers wildly waving Sasha light signs and screaming. Amidst the colorful light signs, I could faintly make out a few large ones bearing Ash Locke that shone exceptionally bright. Many of my book fans and followers, having heard that I would be making my first public appearance to receive an award tonight, actually came to support me. That long, chilled heart of mine finally felt a faint trickle of warmth. To avoid unnecessary trouble, I contacted the organizers and quietly entered through a less crowded side passage. But as soon as I stepped into the venue, I ran into Ethan Miller. He glanced in the direction I came from, blocked my path with his arm, and wore an expression of utter disdain. A useless freeloader like you sneaking in without an invitation, aren't you afraid of being thrown out? Now he has risen to fame, a shining new star basking in the spotlight, speaking with his head held so high it gives people the illusion of sudden wealth. I let out a cold laugh, straightening my clothes that had been rumpled by the fans, and said dismissively, no need to worry about that. Even if they kick you out, they never dare to kick me out. The words had barely left his mouth when Ethan Miller let out a derisive snort, his lips curling in mockery. Are you out of your damn mind? You don't actually think Sophia would help you, do you? You publicly rejected her marriage proposal and humiliated her. Why would she ever stand up for a freeloader like you? My advice: get lost before anyone notices you. He assumed my confidence came from relying on Sophia's status as a film queen, his gaze dripping with even more contempt and mockery. Little did he know my confidence was never Sophia's to give. I couldn't be bothered to waste words on him and try to walk around him, but Ethan Miller grabbed my arm and started shouting, security, security, someone call security, there's an intruder sneaking in. This area was very close to the VIP lounges where all the celebrities rested, so there were plenty of security guards patrolling back and forth to prevent overzealous fans from sneaking in and causing trouble. Hearing that someone had slipped in, the security guards quickly rushed toward me. Sophia, hearing Ethan Miller's voice, also stepped out of her lounge. Today she was dressed in a strapless floor-length gown chosen by the brand, adorned with haute couture jewelry that made her look breathtakingly beautiful. When her gaze landed on me, her pupils constricted sharply, ignoring her agent's attempts to stop her. She lifted the hem of her dress and rushed toward me. In a hushed voice tinged with urgency and faint delight, Liam, did you come looking for me? I'm a bit busy right now. Why don't you wait for me in my dressing room? I'll come find you as soon as I'm done. I coldly avoided her hand. You've misunderstood. I'm here on business, not to see you. Coming to receive an award, how is that not considered work? Ethan Miller scoffed. What kind of work could you possibly have here, janitor? His agent burst into laughter too, not taking me seriously at all. Sophia's expression darkened instantly as she snapped at him. Ethan, that's enough. Ethan, daring to call him so intimately right in front of me, yet always refusing to admit your affair with him. I couldn't help but laugh. I had no interest in watching this cheating couple flaunt their love before me, so I turned to leave immediately. But Ethan Miller just wouldn't let go, clinging to me like a dog. Security, hurry up and arrest this man. Throw him out. He has ulterior motives. Several security guards moved to restrain me, but Sophia stopped them. Ethan Miller fumed. Are you out of your mind? He publicly rejected your proposal in front of the entire nation. He humiliated you and clearly doesn't care about you. Why are you still defending him? Shut up. Sophia rarely lost her temper, glaring at him with intense warning in her eyes. The security guards, still worried I might cause trouble and disrupt the gala, try to force me out. Helpless, I had no choice but to send a text message to the event organizers. In less than a minute, the organizer-esque person in charge arrived in person. As he ran toward my direction, Ethan Miller intercepted him. "You came just in time, this guy. Sneaked in with bad intentions. Quickly, have someone escort him out." Sophia was about to speak up for me, but the next second the person in charge abruptly pushed Ethan Miller aside and respectfully gestured for me to enter. "Screenwriter Jones, we've been waiting for you like counting stars, and moons, please come. Right in the finest lounge has already been prepared for you." I nodded politely and followed him inside, leaving the crowd gaping in astonishment. Behind me, Sophia stared at my retreating figure in shock, unable to snap out of it for a long time. That night, I stood on the highest stage, receiving the honor that was rightfully mine. As all the spotlights shone upon me, my peripheral vision swept across the audience. Every face radiated blessings and envy, except for Ethan Miller's darkened expression throughout the entire event. Sophia, as the Best Actress winner of the previous Golden Statue Awards, naturally served as this year as presenter. When she placed the trophy in my hands, I distinctly felt the tremor in her movements. "Liam, congratulations." She stepped forward to embrace me with quick reflexes. I retreated a step to avoid her. Camera flashes erupted furiously, perfectly capturing the loss and confusion in her eyes. When Sophia first debuted, her rival actresses were all formidable. Each of them had powerful connections, education, emotional intelligence, and tactics. Compared to her ordinary art school graduation, crushing her would have been as easy as squashing an ant. Yet Sophia stubbornly endured. She wore short sleeves in snowy nights below 10°C, waded into freezing rivers in winter, and performed every single beating scene herself. She pushed herself until covered in scars, toiling bitterly for 3 full years before rising from an unknown minor actress to her current position as an award-winning star. No one understands better than I do how much effort she has put in to reach where she is today. On stage, she always carries herself with grace and poise. Yet today, she froze in shock when she saw me take a step back, even stumbling over her lines. The gala concluded successfully, and Ethan Miller, despite his awkward acting and stumbling delivery, still managed to win the Rising Star Award as a newcomer. No need to think, it was clearly Sophia secretly pulling strings for him behind the scenes. For Ethan Miller's sake, she practically worn herself out with worry. After the gala ended, I was held up chatting with several famous directors. By the time we finished, the lounge was nearly empty. Just as I reached the restroom in trance, I heard deliberately hushed voices inside. I had no interest in others' privacy and was about to leave, but when I heard Sophia's voice, I inexplicably froze in my tracks. "Seriously, sis, how much lower can you stoop? If you're afraid," he misunderstand, just explain our relationship to him clearly. "No, you know exactly how you treated him during those 3 years in middle school. If he finds out you're my brother, truly be over between us." With a loud bang, it felt like a thunderclap struck my head. My mind instantly buzzed, and I barely managed to steady myself by leaning against the wall. My heart pounded violently, as if someone had viciously carved into it with a knife. The boy who bullied me relentlessly for 3 years in middle school turned out to be Sophia's younger brother, and judging by their conversation, she knew all along that he'd been tormenting me. But why? Voices continued drifting out intermittently. Ethan Miller said, "I only bullied him to find someone to keep you company. You tacitly approved back then. Why blame just me now?" Silence instantly fell inside. Sophia couldn't deny this accusation. Only now do I understand why I always ran into Sophia every time Ethan Miller bullied me and locked me in the bathroom, why there was always a flicker of guilt in her eyes when she applied ointment to my wounds. Turns out what I had believed to be fate intertwining our lives was all their deliberate arrangement. "Excuse me, sir, the event has ended. Please leave promptly." In my days, a staff member came over to urge me. Sophia and Ethan Miller rushed out at the commotion, their eyes filled with sheer panic the moment they saw me. "Liam, you heard everything." I lifted my gaze indifferently, the fathomless chill in my eyes making her flinch. Sophia visibly panicked. Liam, her face turned deathly pale as she tried to explain. I cut her off. "So all those years, even knowing it was your brother who bullied me, you let him run wild, just to make me more dependent on you, more in love with you. Is that it?" She bit her lip hard, defending herself. "I just loved you too much, was too afraid of losing you. You love me too, don't you?" "Love? How such love is too heavy and too despicable. I can't bear it, nor do I want it." My heart plunged ice cold into the abyss, and my hand, which had been propped against the wall, fell limply. When I looked at her again, my eyes were filled with hatred. "Sophia Miller, for the past 5 years, I truly loved you. But now the sight of you disgusts me." The word disgusting shattered her completely. Leaning against the wall, she slowly slid to the ground, her complexion withering inch by inch, finally unable to suppress her sobs. She reached out to grab me, pleading in her voice, Liam, I was wrong. Give me another chance, okay? Let us start over. I'm willing to give up everything I have now to become an ordinary woman, if that's what you want. Are you out of your mind, sis? Before I could respond, Ethan Miller, who had remained silent until now, exploded in fury. He glared at me with such venom, it seemed he wanted to tear me apart limb by limb. I ignored him expressionlessly, prying Sophia's hand away. If I had another chance, I wouldn't want to know you again. The day after the gala, social media erupted into another storm. Sophia Miller, Ethan Miller bullying incident topped the trending charts with even greater buzz than the previous marriage proposal. My conversation with Sophia at the bathroom door was secretly recorded by someone and leaked online. Soon netizens dug up Sophia and Ethan Miller's history of bullying classmates during their school years based on the dialogue. A wave of outrage immediately swept across the internet. All of Sophia and Ethan Miller's public engagements were canceled and their fan base plummeted to pitiful numbers. Many competitors seized the opportunity, uncovering evidence of Sophia's tax evasion. Overnight, all her assets were seized to recover unpaid taxes and late fees, along with a massive penalty. The once reigning queen of cinema fell from grace, losing everything she owned. Ethan Miller's acting career came to an end. As well, with a degree from a third-rate university, he couldn't even find a decent job. Rumor has it he eventually got into a fight while working as a male escort at a bar, was convicted of intentional assault, and sentenced to over 3 years in prison. As for me, after my identity was revealed, I became wildly popular. Famous directors waited on me daily for scripts, and I gained hordes of female fans who adored both my looks and talent so much so that I had to go out in full disguise. 1 year later, I was strolling through the night market holding my new girlfriend's hand when we stopped at a small stall selling handmade jewelry. Liam, does this look good on me? My girlfriend asked sweetly, tilting her head up to me. I affectionately ruffled her short hair and replied, everything looks beautiful on you. A crisp clatter of falling jewelry made me look up. Under the glow of the street lights, a pair of familiar eyes above a face mask glistened with tears and unspoken emotions, as if they had 1,000 things to say to me. My heart remained unperturbed as I tossed down $100 and walked away with my girlfriend. Days and months pass, never to return. Flowers will always be flowers, trees will always be trees, and I will always be myself. For now, may we each find peace and never disturb each other again. The end.